everybody, so today I decided to read a new story not requested by anyone but myself because honestly, 1, it's a good story, 2, it spreads awareness, and 3, honestly, it's something different and it involves Bnha. Yes, I know, I hear y'all out. I really did like this story. It's super duper good. It spreads awareness about Kermiticide, and I just think it would be a good story to read. Because, you know, whatever. Anyways, no recap, so let's get straight into it. So this is what it looks like. It is by EV Lover Love. They made another story similar to this, but we're going to talk about that later. Mr. Roofman, Bnha male reader, and it is completed. And we're going to read this now. People who are in need, people who are broken, people who want to end it all, go to the roof. They can jump if they want. They can easily end it all if they want, but someone is there to help and stop them. His name? Wyan Ellen, but they don't know that. So they call him Mr. Roofman. Huh. Such an odd name. It is completed, angst, and it is a short story, 19 chapters. Sweet, simple, but I do like it. And yes, it is a male reader. So, without any further ado, now that we know who we are, let's get straight into this. Yeah. So for the first chapter, this will be your warning. This book will contain the following: LGBTQ+, which we do support here, Kermiticide, abuse, blood, self-harm, OOC, cursing. I don't know what OOC is, but y'all let me know, please. Anyway, if uncomfortable with the following, please read another book and have a lovely day. And then this book is inspired by a song, My R, and then by Hikaru Station. And these are the key words that we must remember while reading the story, which is on me. So I'll try my best. So remember, YN equals your name, Ellen equals your last name, BN your brother's name, HC hair color, HS hairstyle, straight, curly, wavy, etc. EC eye color, SC skin color, FC fave color, and F2C second fave color. That is not interesting. I'll star that to keep that in mind. Chapter 1. Your POV. As I walked up the many flights of stairs of UA High, I found myself on the roof. The soft wind blew through my short hair. If I had washed off the makeup, there would be dark eye bags under my droopy orbs. Running a hand through my hair, I walked closer to the edge with my head down. When I did reach where I wanted, I looked up and was shocked. Standing there was a girl. Not just any girl. A girl that was in the hero course. A Class 1A student. I've heard of her before. I've seen her before. She did pretty well in the sports festival, if I can recall. She was shorter than me. Only by an inch, it seems. She was about 156 centimeters, or 5'1". She had short brown hair that looked like it could bounce if she walked. Unfortunately, I couldn't see her face since her back was turned to me. I don't think she noticed me yet. I'll wait and see what she does. I waited and waited. She didn't move. Not an inch. Like she was hesitating on her decision. I perked up when I saw her move closer to the railings. She took off her shoes and put them neatly away. She's not doing what I think she's doing, is she? She stepped over the railing. My eyes widened. I came out of my hiding spot and yelled, "Hey, don't do it, please!" The girl was surprised by my sudden appearance. She turned around. Now I could see her face. A rounded face with big, glossy brown eyes stared at me in shock. She had natural, blushing cheeks which were wet from, what I am guessing, tears. The girl turned around fully to face me. She had a small, sad smile on her lips. "You've probably heard it all before," she started. "I fell in love with someone who was gay." I slowly made my way to her as she talked. Imagine that. Falling for someone who can't physically love or even like you back seems cliche, doesn't it? She said. I'm not going to lie, but that pissed me off. Coming here just because someone didn't return your feelings? That's such an idiotic excuse. You're joking, right? I asked. The brunette was shocked by my question. Are you serious? You came up here, before me, because of some stupid rejection? Who cares if the person's gay? You can find someone better. There's always more fish in the sea. I paused, then let out a breath. So, just because you can't get what you wanted, you decided to come up here? The brunette was speechless. Apparently, she was blinded by her own emotions. You're lucky that you've never been robbed before, I stated. The brunette smiled. It was a sort of happy smile. She walked back over the railings and picked up her shoes. I'm feeling better. Thank you for listening, she said with a smile. I heard running from behind me. I turned around to see another girl from class 1A, excuse me. The frog girl from the USJ villain attack, if I remember correctly. She was shorter than the brunette, being 150 centimeters or 4'11". She had long, dark green hair that was made into a bow at the end, which fits her nicely. She had round black eyes that were filled with tears. She noticed the brunette and ran up to her and crushed her into a hug. I thought I was gonna lose you, Ochako, the frog girl said as her voice creaked. The brunette, or Ochako, was stunned, but soon hugged back with a slight blush. I'm sorry, Sue. I won't do it again. I watched the two females interact and decided to walk away. I guess today just wasn't my day. Narrator POV. Thanks, All Might. Thanks, All Might. You're okay, Ribbit, Sue said with a smile as her and Uraka departed from their hug. Well, if it wasn't for that brown-haired boy, I wouldn't be here, Uraka stated with a big smile on her face. Sue put a finger on her chin. Ribbit, come to think of it, where is he? She questioned as she looked around the rooftop. Both females looked around the rooftop, only to find nothing. It was like he vanished into thin air. How odd. Maybe he left to give us some alone time, Uraka suggested. Sue turned back to the brunette. Maybe, Ribbit. He's a student, right? She asked. Uraka nodded, remembering the brown-eyed boy wearing a UA4. Then next time we see him, we'll thank him, Ribbit. Uraka smiled. Yeah, that sounds nice. With that, the two 1A students, hand in hand, walked to the stairs of the roof. It's sounding good, isn't it? It's sounding fresh, right? Well, not fresh, but it's sounding. Chapter, technically 2, but we're going to say 1.15. Your POV, flashback. A normal day. A boring lesson. But today was different. We were getting a new student today, and the whole class was bickering about it. My best friend, Rory, was talking to me about the new student while I listened. If Rory had a tail, like a dog, it would be wagging like crazy. All right, everyone settle down, Sensei said, catching everyone's attention. As you know, we have a new student today. Do make a good first impression. Yes, Sensei, the class shouted in response. Good, you may come in now. The door opened, and out came a girl with... Oh goodness, I don't... I don't know. We're just gonna say, with hair and big eyes. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. She was beautiful. No, she looked like a goddess. Hello, everyone. I'm... Redacted. Please take care of me. Redacted bowed. Wonderful. Please go sit next to Ellen. Ellen, please raise your hand, Sensei said. I raised my hand and Redacted smiled at me, which I returned. We hit it off. We became closer. We became friends. Then best friends. Soon, she confessed. We became couples, the lovers of the school. She was kind and caring to others, and I always helped others. She came out to me without wanting to be a male. I didn't care. He loved me, and I loved him. We were a perfect match, or so it seemed. A Friday, a happy day. I was eating my lunch alone today. Redacted. Had to go get something from his bag, and Rory had some other friends he wanted to hang out with. I was quietly eating my lunch, waiting for Redacted to come back, until I heard running. I turned to the source of the sound and saw three of my classmates there, panting and sweating like they ran a marathon. Is there something you need? I asked with a held tilt. It's about Redacted, one said. I got up from my seat, worried. What about him? One of them stepped forward. Go to the gym. You'll find him there. I started running to the gym, but was stopped by the third student. We're so sorry, dude. I was confused. Sorry? Sorry for what? Shaking my head, I dashed to the gym. When I opened the large doors, I was greeted with a show. Rory, my best friend, my childhood friend, the one I trusted the most, was kissing Redacted, my lover, my heart, my soul, my world. Redacted was sitting on Rory's lap, kissing him back. Their clothes were wrinkled a tad. When they departed, they turned to me. Their eyes widened. Why? Look, I can... Rory started, but I cut him off. How long? What? How long? What do you mean? Rory questioned. How long has this been going on? How long were you cheating behind my back? I questioned, tears threatening to spill. Silence. Answer me! How long has this been going on? I yelled. Silence. A few months now, Redacted answered. I stood there, stunned. Not only did my lover cheat, but he cheated with my best friend. But they looked so happy together. Right. I hope you two have a good life together. I said, tears falling, but I smiled. They looked at me, shocked. Before they could say anything, I left. I went home, if you can call it home. To it's technically chapter 3, but whatever. This is 2, chapter 2, quote unquote. Your POV. No sounds could be heard when I walked up the stairs of UA. I opened the door and was greeted with a familiar wind and roof. As I walked closer to the edge, I saw floating clothes. An invisible girl. Like the other 2 girls I saw the other day, she was class 1A. She was there during the USJ villain attack. I remember seeing only gloves and boots. That must be her. She was taller than the Sue girl, but shorter than the Ochako girl, being 152 centimeters, or 5'0". Nothing can really describe her, since there's nothing to describe. She had her shoes off and looked like she was texting a friend or family member. Wait, she's not. Oh God, she is. She put her phone down next to her shoes as it exploded with texts and calls. She ignored them all and stepped over the railing. My eyes widened. I came out of my hiding spot and yelled, "Hey, don't do it, please!" The invisible girl turned around in what seemed to be like surprise. Tears were rolling down and were surprisingly not invisible. They were clear as day. The clothes turned towards me. You've probably heard it all before. I always get ignored. No one can notice me. No one can actually see me, she cried. If I have to make myself known, I just want to be seen as a human and not some background character, she said as she put her hands on her face. I think that's it. That's why she came up here? Such an idiotic excuse. You're joking, right? I asked. The girl looked up, shocked by my question. Are you serious? You came up here before me because you think you're a quote-unquote side character? Who cares if you're not noticed in your class? You will always have your family with you. I paused and sighed. So, just because you won't be noticed, you decided to come up here? The girl paused. She, too, was blinded by her own emotions. There's always dinner waiting on the table, you know, I said softly. She stepped over the railing and grabbed her shoes and put her phone away. I'm hungry, she said and walked off, but she didn't get very far. Running could be heard from behind me. As I turned around, I saw a boy with a tail that came up to the roof with tears in his eyes and a phone in one hand. He was a decent height, being 169 centimeters, or 5'6". So he was taller than me. Pretty plain looking with blonde hair. I remember he and one other student forfeited in the sports festival. Following the tailed boy was a girl with pink hair and wild matching hair with pale yellow antlers sticking out. Her eyes were fully black with hazel and were spilling with tears. She was an inch taller than me, being 159 centimeters, or 5'3". I remember her from the sports festival as well. She did pretty good with her type of quirk. The blonde boy went to the invisible girl and hugged her like there was no tomorrow. The pink girl was texting on her phone with a face of relief then went with the two and rubbed the invisible girl's back. I watched the students of Class 1A interact then walk away. Today wasn't a good day. Narrator POV. After crying, the trio pulled away. Please don't ever do that again, Toru. Or Drew said. Yeah, you got the whole class worried for you, Mina said while wiping those tears away. The whole class? Toru questioned jokingly. The other two chuckled. You know what I mean, Mina said with a smile. Well, if it wasn't for the brown-eyed boy, I wouldn't be here. Speaking of the boy, where'd he go? Ordra asked as he looked around. The other two looked around on the flat roof, only to find nothing. How odd. He must have left already, Toru thought out loud. Mina nodded. Probably. Well, if we see him again, we'll give him our thanks. Ojiro suggested. The two nodded as they all walked away from the roof. Mina poking fun of Toru's relationship with Ojiro as they both blushed scarlet. Everything was back to normal. When they did make it back to the dorms, Toru was tackled by all the girls. They had all agreed to watch movies till midnight and eat all the snacks that they wanted. As they were in the middle of watching whatever they liked, and a question popped into Uraka's head. Did you guys meet the roof boy? She asked. Toru and Mina looked at the brunette confused. Momo paused the movies to let everyone listen. What boy? Mina asked as she tilted her head. Uraka put a finger on her chin as if thinking. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He was pretty short too, around Deku's height, maybe? Toru picked up. Oh yeah, he's the one who saved me. Really? Ribbit? Sue asked, shocked. Did you catch his name? Uraka asked pleadingly. Mina and Toru shook their heads. That's a bummer, Juro said, a bit disappointed. Yeah, but let's not think about that now. Let's just enjoy the movie, Momo said as she put her hands on her girlfriend. Put a hand on her girlfriend's, causing Juro to blush. Everyone agreed, and Momo unpaused the movie. But who was the boy on the roof? Chapter 2, Part 2. That don't even make sense. Anyways, this is a major warning, beep beep. Major warning, beep beep. Don't know specifically what, but I think it mentions Kermiticide, beep beep. Or actually, no, that'd be a bit too early. Don't know it, but we about to find out. Your POV flashback. I'm home, I yelled into the dark house. I wasn't really expecting an answer back, but I got one. Not a good one. Oi, you piece of shit! The piece of shit is back! Okay, I kind of said that kind of funny, I'm sorry. The piece of shit is back, a rough voice said. Is that so? I guess our fun starts early today, a bitchy voice cooed. As I walked into the living room, I saw my quote-unquote parents in a mess. The once red couch was now dirty and stained from what I guess is cum and alcohol. Around the pale couch was bottles, some broken, some half full / empty, and some are just laying around. The coffee table was littered with unused condoms and alcohol beverages. The TV was on a news channel about a recent villain fight that Ome had gotten involved in. To say the least, it looked like a dumpster for sluts. When I looked at my quote-unquote parents, they were smirking. My quote-unquote mother was wearing a maid outfit with fake cat ears and a fake tail. She was wearing a collar that had a leash that my quote-unquote father held. My quote-unquote father looked like he was half drunk. He had sweat and alcohol staining his dark green shirt as he wore dark brown shorts. Oh, look, honey, you were right. The little shit is back, the woman cheered. I'm always right, pet. The man spat. Of course you are, master. I gagged in my mind. They seriously can't do anything right. Welp, the man said as he stood up and walked to me, the maid following close behind like an obedient puppy. It's time for your daily. Oh, this will be fun, the woman said cheerfully after that. I now had a bruised chest and cheek, along with blood running down my face and leg, but it could be worse. I had to make them dinner while I had the scrapes from yesterday. They complained about the food, threw half of it away, and went to the living room again. The usual. Why can't I have a regular life with a happy family? At least I have friends, right? Officially, Chapter 3. Your POV. Your POV. After the day with the invisible girl, more and more UA students were on the roof to jump. I met plenty of them. A green-haired boy with green eyes. A Class 1A student. He was there because he thought of himself as a useless person because of a person named Kachan, which I think is a nickname. I made him turn away. The chocolate girl came to see him along with the blue-haired male. They looked worried for him. A black-haired male with weird elbows, who was also from Class 1A. He was there almost for the same reason as the invisible girl, thinking that he was nothing but a background character, and that he needed to just make himself a someone. I made him turn away. A few people came to see him. The pink-haired girl from the other day, a blonde boy with a black lightning bolt in his hair, excuse me, and a boy who looked like he dyed his hair red with sharp teeth were there for him. They cried for him. A blonde-haired boy who looked like he was crazy at first glance. This time, he was from Class 1B. It not changed, but it doesn't matter. He was there because he thought he wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough to be in Class 1A. I listened to him and made him turn away. A girl with orange hair came to see him. They cried together. The same blue-haired boy from the green-haired boy came up, also from Class 1A. He was going through a rough time with his brother. No one would listen to him for the better, and he felt like he was below everyone, is what he said. A bit odd choices of coming up here, but I made him turn away. The same green-haired boy and the brunette came to see him. They hugged and made everlasting promises. Today was an oddball. He was a Class 1C student. I never thought I would meet someone who wasn't in the hero course. He had anti-gravity purple hair, droopy purple eyes with bags under them. You can say we would be matching. He was tall, or I'm just short. He was 177 centimeters, or 5'9", almost 5'10". He seemed to be tired all the time, but he was wide awake. I remember him from the sports festival. He was playing smart. I liked that. I watched from afar. I want to see what he will do. Like all the other people who come to the roof, he took off his shoes and put them away, neatly. Dear Lord, why can't I just be alone on this roof for once? He slowly stepped over the railings, but didn't go over. Wait, I know what he's doing. Every day, I hear UA talking about the boy on the roof. A boy who helps anyone who is about to jump. They call me Mr. Roofman, an odd and laughable name they gave me. But what else are they supposed to call me? Because people want to see me and ask me questions, they try to bait me out by pretending to jump. They either chicken out, or a teacher coincidentally finds them and quote-unquote rescues them. This purple-haired boy is one of those people. He put one foot over the railing. I know you're here, he suddenly said. My eyes widened a bit. I just want to talk. Nothing more, nothing less. He continued. He backed away from the railings. I think for a minute, but stay hidden. I just want to ask some questions. He's pushing it. What you say will stay between the two of us. He put back on his shoes. You want to see me? Fine. He was standing in the middle of the roof area, waiting for something to happen. I walked up behind him. He surprisingly never turned around. If he did, he would have saw me, clear as day. You called? I questioned. He jumped and turned around. Whoa, I thought no one was actually here. He stuttered. I've been here all this time. You just never turn around. I shrugged. The purple-haired boy nodded and put his hands out for a handshake. I am Hitoshi Shinso. I looked at his hand and looked back at him with a bored expression. Sorry, I don't do handshakes. He returned his hand and scratched the back of his neck. People call me Mr. Roofman. He looked back at me surprised. Wait, you're the roof man? Apparently. Oh, wow. I thought you'd never show yourself to anyone besides the ones who jumped. You asked nicely. So, what's your questions? I asked as I sat down in front of him. Well, he followed me to sit. Who are you? Mr. Roofman. No, like, what's your real name? I paused. That can be answered later, I stated coldly. Right, sorry. Shinso stuttered. Why do you help and stop people who jump? I witnessed it once. I'm not letting it happen again. Do you really go here? Yes. Silence. Is that all, Hitoshi Shinso? I asked. Just call me Shinso, he said as he stood up as I followed suit. That's all my questions. Thank you for answering. I nodded. Good. You better keep your words. He looked confused. I sighed. This stays between us, okay? Oh, right. Shinso thought of something. Hey, what's your favorite color? Blue. So are you gonna go now? I answered. He looked at me shocked for some reason. Yeah, sure. He started to walk away. Should I? Yeah, I should. I start to walk. Wyan Ellen, I said before walking away soundlessly. Narrator's POV. Wyan Ellen is what Shinso heard. He turned around. What? He questioned, but he saw no one. How abnormal. He stood there confused before he walked away. Wyan Ellen. Was that his name? Or is it a fake? Anyways, what do you guys think of the story so far? Personally, I love the story, so ain't no hate, no shade coming from me. But do you guys like the story so far? Is it, interesting? Like, because, this story, I think, should be much more video talk. Just needs to be talked about more, because this story is amazing. So now we got some key clues about our character, though. So number 1, our character is male. 2, you can customize whatever. 3, he had a partner that is a trans man, but cheated on him with his best friend, Rory. And 4, we find out he has an abusive home. He lives in an abusive home where his mom and dad are, as you can tell, not the greatest. And are just, terrible parents. So yeah, it's pretty off to a really sad start. Our character is pretty decently short. I'm guessing our character is at least 5'2", if I can remember correctly. And our character is living a pretty sad life right now. And now is we is the character now. Why am I saying this? But yeah. Anyways, that's all that we gathered from. If you guys think, any other little things that I haven't just pointed out now, please let me know in the comments down below. But please, whatever I just pointed out, please keep that in mind as we go through this whole thing, because it's gonna get pretty intense as we go, and maybe less intense, just depends how it is. And it has a lot of cool stuff behind it. I promise you, it's gonna really get cool and sad, but cool. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. And you girls gotta go, sadly. She got a skirt up in here. But before I go, make sure y'all cast those votes in, because those votes need to get in there to decide which story will be best for us to read, X-Virus and whatnot. So get them votes in, people. Get them votes in. Anyways, you girls got to go. Stay safe out there. Bye and peace.